Good morning. Today we will start with the chapter 2, energy transfer and general energy analysis. The topic which we will start today is your mechanism of heat transfer. There are three modes of heat transfer, that is your conduction, convection and radiation. So all modes of heat transfer require temperature difference, and all modes of heat transfer are from high temperature medium to a lower temperature. We will discuss in detail. So this figure here shows your conduction. You can see this is your cold drink can here. So heat is transferred from outside to this cold drink. So this is the, you can say, wall of aluminum can through which heat has to transfer. So outside temperature is say T2, inside temperature is say T1. So the delta temperature difference is del T, and the thickness of this wall is del X. So conduction is the transfer of energy from more energetic particles of a substance to adjacent less energetic ones as a result of interaction between particles. Conduction can take place in solids, liquids or gases. In gases and liquids, conduction is due to collision of molecules during their random motion. In solids, it is due to combination of vibrations of molecules in a lattice and energy transport by free electrons. A cold drink canned drink in a warm room, for example, eventually warms up to the room temperature as a result of heat transfer from room to the drink through the aluminum can by conduction. So you can see here conduction is proportional to area of the surface through which heat has to be transferred, temperature difference which exists between the, you can see, these two surfaces, and it is inversely proportional to thickness of the surface, where this constant proportionally Kt is called thermoconductivity of the material. Materials such as copper, silver, which are good electric conductors, are also good heat conductors, and therefore we have Kt values. Materials such as rubber, wood and styrofoam are poor conductors of heat, and they had low thermoconductivity values. So this law which we have discussed here, it is known as the Fourier law. In the limiting case, when your thickness tends to 0, the equation above reduces to differential form. So this del here, it will reduce to dt by dx, which is also known as Fourier's law of heat conduction. It indicates that the rate of heat conduction in a direction is proportional to temperature gradient. So this value is called temperature gradient. So you can see here different materials. Diamond is the most conductivity. It is having 2300 watt per meter Kelvin, and silver, copper and gold, they are on higher side. And the lowest thermal conductivity belongs to the air, glass fiber and urethane rigid foam. According to basis on the conductivity, their application can be decided. In solids, heat conduction is due to two facts: lattice vibration waves induced by vibration motion of molecules positioned at relatively fixed position in a periodic manner called lattice, and energy transported by the free electrons. Now we will start with the convection, which is mode of energy transfer between a solid surface and the adjacent liquid or gas that is in motion, and it involves the combined effect of conduction and fluid motion. The faster the fluid motion, the greater is the convection heat transfer. In the absence of any bulk fluid motion, heat transfer between a solid surface and adjacent bulk fluid is by pure conduction. The presence of bulk motion of the fluid enhances the heat transfer between the solid surface of fluid, but it also complicates the determination of heat transfer. We will take by example. So take cooling of a hot block by blowing of cool air over its top surface. You can see here this is your hot block. So this is the air flowing over the surface of the block. Energy is first transferred to air layer adjacent to the surface of the block by conduction. So this first layer, which is just in contact with this block. In that layer, energy is transferred due to conduction only. This energy is then carried away from the surface by convection. So then this layer will transfer its energy to the next layer by convection. The combined effect of conduction within the air, which is due to random motion of air molecules, and bulk or macroscopic motion of air. So there are two types of motion here. One is the conduction here, which is within the, you can say, molecules movement. Second is convection, means air molecule itself will move from this adjacent layer and it will move to the upper layer and it will carry the, you can say, heat. Convection is called forced convection. If the fluid is forced to flow in a tube or over a surface by external means such as fan or pump or the wind. So this is example of forced convection, where you had a fan and air is thrown over this hot egg to cool it down. Second is your natural convection, where by natural means, due to the buoyancy effect created by the fluid, you can say this circulation of air will start from downward to upward direction. This type of natural convection also we will use, we see in during the boiling of water also in your pan. So convection is called forced convection if fluid is forced to flow in a tube over a surface by external means such as fan, pump or wind. Even if a pump pumps a fluid, like you are in a car radiator, so this is called of convection is called a forced convection, where you use water cooled pump to fully circulate the water through the radiator. In contrast, convection is called free or natural convection if the fluid motion is caused by buoyancy forces induced by density difference due to the variation of temperature in the fluid. So that is only due to buoyancy forces. That is natural convection, which we will see in day-to-day life. Due to the sun heating, the air start to go from downward direction to upward into the upper atmosphere due to density difference of air. The lighter air will come down, which is colder, and the hotter air, which is near to the surface of earth, will go up. So this is example of natural convection. For example, in the absence of fan, heat transfer from the surface of a hot block will be by natural convection, since any motion in the air in this case will be due to the rise of warmer air near the surface and fall of cooler air to fill its place. So heat transfer between block and surrounding air will be by conduction if the temperature difference between air and block is not large enough to overcome the resistance of air to move and thus to initial natural convection currents. So one thing has to be noted, the velocity near this surface is zero. As you move up into the layer, the velocity of the fluid start to increase and then it saturate, the velocity becomes constant. Same temperature at this near to the surface, the layer which is near to the surface is maximum temperature, and as you move up, the temperature of layer, this fluid layer start to decrease and then it saturates. Tf is the fluid temperature. So heat transfer process that involves change of phase of fluid are considered to be convection because of fluid motion induced during the process, such as rise of vapor bubbles during boiling or fall of liquid droplets during condensation. So means boiling and during condensation, when there is a phase change, they are also considered to be convection. So we will discuss now formula of convection. So convection is determined from Newton's law of cooling, that is depends on H, area of surface, into temperature of surface, which is Ts, and temperature of fluid, which is Tf, where H is convection heat transfer coefficient, A is area, is the surface area through which heat transfer takes place, and Ts is the surface temperature and Tf is the bulk fluid temperature away from the surface. This value of H we have to determine because area of surface is known, temperature surface is known, temperature fluid we know, that is the velocity of air, temperature of air. So we have to find what is H, that is convection heat transfer coefficient. The convection heat transfer coefficient H is not property of fluid. It is experimentally determined parameter whose value depends on all variables that influence convection, such as surface geometry, the nature of fluid, the properties of fluid, and bulk fluid velocity. So it is H value of H is found experimentally. So because it is depend on number of factors, velocity of the fluid, property of the fluid, geometry of the surface. This H is not same for all the surfaces. If the surface has a different, you can say shape, the value of H will change for that shape. It is a round sphere, or it is a tube, or it is a flat plate. So depending on that, H will change. So H will range from 2 to 5 for free convection of gases, 50 to 1000 for free convection of liquids, and 25 to 250 for forced convection of gases, and 50 to 20,000 for forced convection of liquids, and 2500 to 1 lakh for convection in boiling and condensation. So you can see here between the free convection and forced convection there is a almost difference of 20 times. So H will defined depending on what type of convection is, whether it is a forced convection or whether it is natural convection. Third mode of heat transfer is radiation. So radiation energy emitted by matter in form of electromagnetic waves or photons as a result of the changes in electromagnetic configuration of the atoms or molecules. Means when your atom jump from lower shell to higher shell, or J jump from higher shell to lower shell, they emit electromagnetic waves. Unlike conduction and convection, the transfer of energy by radiation does not need presence of any intervening medium. In fact, energy transfer by radiation is faster at a speed of light, and it suffers no attenuation in the vacuum. Means if there is a vacuum, it is better, the radiation will be much better. This is exactly how the energy of sun reaches the earth from the throughout the vacuum. Or you can take example of air. This fire is at 900 degrees Celsius, so air is at 5 degrees Celsius, and this radiation is transferred from 900 degrees Celsius temperature to the lower temperature without affecting the temperature of air. Radiation can pass through air, some amount of it will be absorbed by air, but if there is a vacuum, even then radiation will be transferred. So there is no need of medium as in case of conduction and convection. In heat transfer studies, we are interested in thermal radiation, which is from the radiation emitted by bodies because of their temperature. So all bodies emit radiation, whether they are at low temperature or high temperature. Even a body at room temperature will radiation. It differs from other forms of electromagnetic radiation such as X-rays, gamma rays, microwave, radio waves, and television waves that are not related to temperature. So these waves are not temperature dependent. All bodies at a temperature above absolute zero emit thermal radiation. Radiation is a volumetric phenomena, and all solids, liquids, and gases emit, absorb, or transmit radiation of varying degrees. However, radiation is usually considered to be surface phenomena for solids that are opaque to thermal radiation such as metals, wood, rocks, since the radiation emitted by interior regions of such material can never reach the surface, and the radiation incident on such bodies is usually absorbed within a few microns from the surface. The maximum rate of radiation that can be emitted from a surface at an absolute temperature Ts is given by Stephen Boltzmann law, that is Q maximum emitted is equal to sigma A Ts raised to power 4, where sigma is your Stephen Boltzmann constant and its value is given here. The idealized surface that emits radiation at this maximum rate is called black body, but we have to discuss the real body, and the real body surface will emit less radiation as compared to the black body. So this is the real body radiation emitted. It is again proportional to sigma A T raised to power 4, where E is your emissivity of the surface. It lies between 0 and 1. Another important radiation property of surface is absorptivity alpha, which is fraction of radiation energy incident on a surface that is absorbed by surface. Total amount of radiation can't be absorbed, some amount will be reflected back. A black body absorbs the entire radiation incident on it. So A for black body alpha is equal to 1. So a surface can absorb the radiation and a surface can emit part of that radiation. So the net radiation